Have you been diagnosed with nasal polyps? Contact Prism Clinical Research for more information about our nasal polyp study.
The Minnesota Wild come up short, falling 3-1 to the visiting Philadelphia Flyers. It's time for Wild Breakaway, presented by Prism Research. With Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. The Minnesota Wild were hoping to pick up back-to-back wins for the first time since the end of February, following a very strong win just a few nights ago against the San Jose Sharks. They got off to a good start tonight. Unfortunately, they ended this one with just 4 shots on net in the final frame. Obviously not enough to get the job done.
Yeah, many of the players that spoke with Kevin Gorg talking about the compete level and also managing the puck. Turnovers created and really gave the Philadelphia Flyers an opportunity to create the offense that ultimately rang all over Devin Dubnyk in that final period. Only 4 shots on goal for the Minnesota Wild. The ice time in zone far favoring the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, here's a look at tonight's final stats. It was really all about Steve Mason tonight. A strong performance from him between the pipes, turning away 24 Minnesota Wild shots. 27 shots on net from the Flyers tonight. Neither team capitalizing on their power play chances, and a big factor tonight, it all starts in the face-off circle, and that went heavily in favor of the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, following the game, Bruce Boudreau was asked if maybe fatigue this late in the season is part of the factoring of why this team is continuing to struggle. And here's his answer.
If fatigue is the answer, if they are tired, if they think that they're in that area where they can't go up and they can't go down, well, I mean, it's a tough go at that point here. You got to find it from your inner self. I mean, the competitive juices have got to come from inside. I mean, whether you're playing this or you're playing the soccer that they play outside, you know, like, I mean, you gotta have will it, I guess, when you're in this situation.
So 6 of the final 9 games for the Wild will come against teams who are on the outside of the postseason picture looking in. That includes the next one up, and that's the Vancouver Canucks, who come to town Saturday for a little afternoon of hockey. But of course, Ben, when you're taking on teams who are not going to be playing once the regular season ends up, you know you're going to be taking on some guys who are desperate to play for their contracts, hoping to end things on a high note for themselves individually as well.
Generally, you're going to face a team with a unique set of circumstances at which they're trying to compete. Players have a contract, so maybe they're trying to get that 20th goal and get a bonus. Players that have a contract know they're going to be in the National Hockey League and have no pressure because they realize this season isn't going to be a success. And then you have that group that are extra pesky, the guys who get called up. They get their first opportunity. They're playing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup because they may never be back in the National Hockey League. It's a different deal, but it makes one thing all that much more important, something the Minnesota Wild were able to do tonight, and that's scoring first.
So the Minnesota Wild will now be keeping an eye on a game later tonight with the Kings to see if a loss for LA will punch the Wild's ticket to the postseason for the 5th straight year. We'll see if they can get that done with the help of LA tonight. We'll find out soon enough. We'll be back this weekend for hockey here at the XL Energy Center. We look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, for Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. Thanks for joining us on Wild Breakaway, presented by Prism Research.